माधव कुंज बिहारी कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन भज जन यमुना तीरा ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Happy to be back again after a while. Somebody just told me I saw you a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, I'm not here. So I'm not sure. Maybe there is another duplicate of me somewhere here. So in the next few days, we'll be celebrating the divine appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, in the course of our daily activities, I'm sure we all experience there are certain things that are very difficult to accomplish. There is frustration, and we want to do things quicker, we want to do things fast, but there's always some obstacle or some hurdle. Does anybody have experience of this? So I'm speaking to the right crowd. So I want to share a secret with you, how to overcome that. Does everybody want to hear what the secret is? Sure. It doesn't look like it. Because as soon as we say secret, everybody's ears go up. So the secret is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, 14th chapter, first verse. There, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's saying, Katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukharam bhavet vismritam viparitat syat Sri Chaitanyam namamidvam. He's saying, Katanchana smrite yasmin. Somehow or the other, remember. Who? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the result of remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Dushkaram sukharam bhavet. Dushkaram means difficult things. Sukharam becomes easy. Did you get it? So just by remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, difficult things become easy. Vismrate viparisyat. What happened? If you don't remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then easy things become difficult. So now on one side we see, we want things to become easy. So if you remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, things will become easy. But if you forget Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, easy things become difficult. Now why did we hear this? I don't think so. I remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all the time. So this is a benediction actually. This is a benediction given by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, that any living entity, if he remembers Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, easy things become difficult and difficult things become easy. So, with this in mind, now if you want to understand why, you have to pay attention. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, chapter 3, verse 30, there's a beautiful verse. This verse explains what happens when we come together like this. Parasparanu Kathanam, it is explained that when we come together, Pavanam Bhagavat Yasha, and discuss the glories of Bhagavat, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. What happens? Mito Ratir, Mita Tushtis. Mito Ratir means we develop attraction. Ratir means attraction. And Mito Tushti, Tushti means satisfaction. So if by coming together like this and just giving our ears to the message of Bhagavat, which is all glorious, we develop attraction not to Supreme Lord, but we develop attraction and satisfaction when we are together. Now most of the time we have this gathering. This is not something unusual. But we miss out on this principle that when we come together like this, we are supposed to give all reception to the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parikshit Maharaj in the second canto, he is saying, Shinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Ghanatascha Chestitam Kalena Ati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishatiridi. He is saying, just by giving oral reception to the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna, he comes and enters our heart and takes residence. Now one may wonder, we have heard that Krishna is right within our heart. So where is he entering from? For those who are not giving all reception to the message of Sri Krishna, Krishna is sleeping in the heart. But for those who are attentive and hearing this message of Srimad Bhagavatam, then Krishna becomes very active. And from within the heart, he inspires us to perform devotional service. So in my opinion, this is the most lazy way of achieving self-realization. Just sitting and giving oral reception. Kuch jata hai kisi ka? Anything happens? Just sitting there. If you have a back problem, you can take the back seat or get some support. But just by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, we become self-realized. No need to go into the caves, standing upside down, fasting all day. None of those are required. According to the authority Parikshit Maharaj, he is saying, Srinvata Shraddhaya Nityam, just giving our ears to the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. That personality whom the yogis are trying to capture within their heart, that personality just comes and takes residence. Bhagavan Vishatari. So if you want Krishna to enter your heart, pay attention. So that was the introduction. Because otherwise there are opportunities for us to fall asleep. Right? Because when Kumbhakarna was killed, Nidra Devi, she came to Lord Ram. And she said, my dear Lord, I am out of business here. There was one person whom I could take full shelter of for 6 months. And now you destroyed him. What will happen to me? So Lord Ram said, don't worry. In Kali Yuga, there will be people sitting and listening to my katha. At that time, you can take shelter of these people. So she is hovering here somewhere. And if you are not attentive, she will take shelter of you. And we don't want that to happen. That's why I said, if you are intelligent, this is the most lazy way of attaining self-realization. So our topic for this evening is the dancing Lord. We have eating God, Lord Jagannath, and we have dancing God, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we also have a sleeping God, Mahavishnu. So what is so special about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? We are going to be celebrating his appearance day in few days. I always like to prepare ourselves. Now, every year Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in our life. Every year has passed by. So what is so special? Right? We have heard these pastimes, we have heard these stories so many times. Now, one aspect of listening is informative. Right? We are getting new information. Right? Sometimes we see who's going to speak, who's speaking this Sunday lecture. And depending on the speaker, we make our schedule. Should I go or should I not go? That's why the devotees who are preparing the flyer, they usually give a very cryptic message. That you have to figure it out. What is dancing God? What is dancing Lord? I know Chaitanya, what is it? Right? So we give a very cryptic message. So you don't have to think about, oh, this lecture is about Dhruva Maharaj. I have heard this story so many times. Oh, this lecture is about Ambarish Maharaj. I have heard this lecture so many times. Now with this mindset, our approach is informative. Right? We are going to give information. Oh, this story I have never heard before. This verse I have never heard before. Then it becomes, something new I got. But that is not the purpose of listening. The purpose of listening is not informative. The purpose of listening is, anybody? Purificative. Because this message, the more you hear, the more it purifies our consciousness. So when you leave this place, there has to be some change in consciousness, not some new information. And most of us are always after new information. Oh, this story I've never heard. This pastime or this philosophy is something new, presented a little differently. But I got something. But our intent when we leave this place, when we leave this facility, should be purification. So, with that in mind, there is a beautiful narration. And we have to go to each of the yugas to understand this. So, we all have to right now transport ourselves to Satya Yuga. So, just imagine we're in Satya Yuga right now. But my back is hurting. How is it possible? 10,000 years of life. So in Satya Yuga, it is explained that Nrsimhadev appeared. Nrsimhadev appeared for whom? Sure, right? Balaram Prabhu?
Yes. According to this question, yes.
So Nrsimhadev appeared for his devotee Prahlad Maharaj. Now it is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam dedicates 10 chapters, the 7th canto, discussing the glory of Prahlad Maharaj. It is explained that Prahlad Maharaj, not even once, when he was put into so much difficulty, so much calamities, he called out Krishna, where are you? There is no such mention. And when Nrsimhadev appeared to him, it is explained that the demigods, they became very fearful to approach him because he was in that Ugra roop. So ultimately they unanimously decided that we should send Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj approached Nrsimhadev with a garland and he offered it. And Nrsimhadev was pacified. And Nrsimhadev, upon seeing his dear devotee Prahlad offering obeisances, he took him and put him on his lap. And when he put him on his lap, Nrsimhadev, out of great affection, like a father for his son, Nrsimhadev started licking Prahlad Maharaj. And Nrsimhadev was experiencing a happiness, Vatsalya Prem, parental affection. He was experiencing that. And Prahlad is also experiencing the fatherly love that is coming from Lord Nrsimhadev. Now Nrsimhadev, while this reciprocation was going on, Nrsimhadev realized that my devotee Prahlad, he is experiencing more happiness than me. I am the father, but my child is experiencing more happiness through this loving reciprocation, this experience or this exchanges that we are having. So Nrsimhadev developed a desire. Nrsimhadev developed a desire that how nice it would be that I can experience what Prahlad is experiencing. I want to experience this love that a child experiences when his father is showing and showering love and affection. But unfortunately for me, my father is a pillar. So Nrsimhadev, to fulfill that one desire, he appeared in Treta Yuga as Lord Ramachandra. Now Lord Ramachandra, he experienced that in the lap of his father Dashrath. All that Prahlad Maharaj was experiencing, Lord Ramachandra was experiencing. He was completely satisfied. Oh, this is what my devotee Prahlad was feeling when his father was showering affection on him. Because he could see that through his father Dashrath. Now, Lord Ramachandra, when he grew up, we know the story how his wife Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. And it is explained that Lord Ramachandra, he gathered the monkey armies. He made friends with Sugriva. Then finally in the end, Vibhishan also comes. So now Lord Ramachandra, he is Maryada Purushottam. His mood is of that of a master who's showering love. He cannot fully experience the friendship. Although Sugriva approached him as friend, Vibhishan also approached him as friend, or in reverence. And Ramchandra developed a desire. So how nice it would be for me to have these loving exchanges with my friend. We don't see Sugriva jumping on Lord Ram's shoulder, or Jambavan playing with Lord Ram in a friendly way. But within his heart, Lord Ramchandra was hankering for this. In fact, when Hanumanji came with a message from Sita Devi, Lord Hanumanji bowed and he went flat on the floor. So Lord Ram, for the first time, he said, I want to experience what it is that when I embrace a friend. So he took Hanuman and he embraced Hanuman and he felt so much happiness. He said, how, if every living entity I can experience this friendship with them. So Lord Ramchandra developed this desire that I want to become completely friendly with my devotees. Then later on, when Lord Ramchandra was going to the forest of Dandakaranya, there he came across these sages who have been meditating for millions of years. These sages had heard from Narada Muni in Satyuga about the beauty of Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ramchandra's beauty was graphically narrated by Narada Muni. And with a desire to see Lord Ramchandra, these sages sat there in that forest for millions of years. One yuga completely crossed over, and the next yuga has come. And when they saw Lord Ramchandra's beauty, their eyes almost fell off from the sockets. That beauty that Lord Narada Muni had described, Lord Ramchandra was beyond that. And the sages developed this desire. And Lord Ramchandra, he said, first of all, I cannot do that in this form of mine because I am married to Sita. So he developed a desire to reciprocate with this sages of Dandakaranya. So Lord Ramchandra developed two desires. Narasimhadev developed one desire. I'm going to ask in the end, just to make sure everybody paying attention. He developed one desire, and that desire was fulfilled by Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ramchandra developed two desires. Now that two desires were fulfilled by his incarnation of Lord Shri Krishna. When Lord Ramchandra appeared as Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, he fulfilled those two desires. We can see in the pastime of Sri Krishna how his friends used to joke with him, his friends used to wrestle with him. There was no such thing as awe and reverence. In fact, one time, Krishna and the Gopas, they were playing hide and seek. This is not a game that, I'm sure most of us play. You go and hide and then one person has to find. So Krishna and his friends, they were playing hide and seek. And what was happening was that every time Krishna used to hide, he was easily caught. And this really frustrated Krishna. So what's going on? I'm trying to hide because he used to go under the caves, he used to go under the bushes, but somehow the other one Gopa or the other used to find him. So he became very frustrated. He said, I'm not going to play this game anymore. So the friend said, okay, if you don't want to play, then get out of here. Now you're going to do this with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, okay. So he started crying and he sat in one place. So then he was crying and he said, what? And then one of the friends, Sridhama, he approached Krishna. He said, what happened? Why are you crying? He said, you guys already know, you guys are not closing your eyes properly, you're seeing where I'm going and that's how you're able to spot me. In fact, it is explained that how the cowherd boys were spotting Krishna. It is explained that when from Krishna's breath, there is an amazing fragrance. And Krishna's lips, were considered like nectar. So when he used to go and hide in the bushes, the bees used to follow him. The bees used to follow and they were mesmerized by the fragrance that was coming from Krishna's body. So they used to go and chase out Krishna. So Krishna, no matter where he is hiding, the Gopals knew, oh, the bumblebees are hovering here, that means Krishna is here. So Sridhama approached Krishna and said, it's okay, one more try, let's try it this time. So this time, the day was almost about to get end, and then it was Krishna's turn to go and find the Gopas. Now as soon as Krishna opened his eyes and nobody was around, his mother started calling him. Mother Yashoda called Krishna and said, Krishna, it's time for you to come home, it's dinner time. At that time Krishna started walking. He said, my dear friends, I'll see you later. And the Gopas, the coward boys, they got very upset. They said, what is this? Right, when your turn comes, you're renewed, so actually I have to go. If I don't go, my mother will not give me food. And there is a big quarrel that happens between the friends and Krishna. And Krishna now here is experiencing that. What he could not experience in Treta Yuga. So these friends, this relationship, this exchanges that I am having, it's amazing. There is no such conception of awe and reverence. In fact, when Krishna was sitting in one corner and sobbing, one coward boy came to him. So Krishna, why are you crying? He said, I left Vaikuntha to come and play with you guys. And you guys are not treating me fairly. And that Gopa friend started laughing. He said, Vaikuntha? So what's wrong with you? You are just a coward boy. You are son of Nanda Maharaj. And no matter how much Krishna tried to explain, he failed. This is how the love that takes place in Vrindavan in the form of Sakyaras. So this desire was fulfilled by Krishna in his incarnation. Now, the second desire Krishna fulfilled because it is explained by our acharyas that all these sages in the Dandakaranya forest, they took birth as gopis in Vrindavan. And Krishna fulfilled their desire. Now, Krishna had 3 unfulfilled desires. 1, 2 and 3. So Krishna, and this is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, because we are discussing why the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes. Right? If you don't understand the significance of his appearance, then on the day of appearance, it becomes just like a festival with some rituals. The significance is lost. So if you want to celebrate the festival, we have to understand what is the purpose, why does the Lord come here? And what is the purpose behind his descent? So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that there are 3 reasons why Krishna he appears in Kali Yuga as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Number 1, he wanted to understand his beauty. Krishna wanted to understand how do I look? Why is my complexion? Why is my beauty so mesmerizing to the devotees? What is that the devotees see in me that they get totally bewildered and they want to just offer their life in service to me? That was number 1. Second, he wanted to find out what is the love of Srimati Radharani. What is the love like that she is able to dedicate her life in service to me? And the third one, he wanted to understand what is the experience of that love. What is the experience of love? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared, because an example is given, sugar, you can see sometimes you drop a sugar on the floor, you see there's ants all over the place. Like there's a little trail that follows. That one sugar, there will be like so many small ants trying to suck on that sugar. Now, The sugar will never know what is in me that tastes so sweet for the ants. In fact, in that pastime that we were describing about Krishna, Krishna was mesmerized. He was trying to understand what is that? What is it in me that the bees are after me? Right? We know the words that how when we give Krishna's reference, Krishna's lotus feet. We say Krishna's lotus feet. Krishna's lotus feet are the abode. It's a shelter for all the living entities. It's a shelter for all the devotees. In fact, in the pastime of Markandeya Rishi, how Krishna was sucking on his toe. Because you have to find out what is that. What is that in my lotus feet that everybody wants to get a piece of it? So how will we experience that? That experience will only come when he takes the position of the experiencer. The sugar particle will never know the taste of his own self. So Krishna, to experience that love, to experience that joy, he comes and descends in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although we say he is one of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but our Acharyas explained that he is the original personality. Right? The two personalities, Radha and Krishna, they combine and come in this form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this incarnation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to experience all these three desires that was left unfulfilled in Dwapar Yuga in the form of Krishna. He was able, because he became a devotee. Lord Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he gave us an instruction. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. That my dear Arjuna, give up all these so-called duties and just surrender unto me. Now Krishna gave an instruction and he went. But then when he went back to the spiritual world, he was thinking, I gave this instruction, but I did not teach anybody how to practice it. This incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so special because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he personally descends to teach us how to do Sarva Dharman Parityaj. That is one of the reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descends, to teach us how to follow the principles that is given in the Bhagavad Gita. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or I should say Narsingadev, is satisfied. From that first incarnation all the way down to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the desires are fulfilled. So now it is explained, in each yuga there is a prominent, the yuga is compared to a kingdom. In each kingdom there is a prominent avatar. In Satyuga we talked about Narsingadev. In Treta Yuga we have Lord Ramachandra. In Dwapar Yuga we have Lord Shri Krishna. In Kali Yuga we have Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he says that when we are living in a kingdom, you can glorify the kings of other kingdom, but make sure you glorify the king where you live in. So it's okay to glorify Lord Narsingadev from Satyuga. It is okay to glorify Lord Ramachandra from Treta Yuga. It is okay to glorify Krishna from Dwapar Yuga. But we have to glorify the king of this yuga. And who is the king of this yuga? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is what we will be doing in the next few days. I believe you are celebrating Gaur Purnima next week, right? Next time. So you have the whole week to glorify. And glorification doesn't necessarily mean just speaking. Glorification also means hearing about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he descended into this world, our acharyas give external reason and they give internal reason. The internal reason we just talked about, the three desires. But primarily one of the reasons that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes is to give the Yuga Dharma. The Yuga Dharma is Nam Sankirtan. Now, one of his prominent follower, Sri Rupa Goswami, he has given the 5 most potent forms. If we do, we will achieve love for God. Now, Krishna, or for that matter, if we say Narsingadev, Lord Ramachandra, Krishna, when they came, they never gave love for Krishna. They never gave love for themselves. They only gave the teachings and they displayed the beautiful pastimes. They never gave love for themselves. That was only given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is one of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prominent followers, Sri Rupa Goswami. He is giving the 5 most essential and important things. And this is something that you can take away with you today. And we are already doing that, by the way. But most of the time we do something, we forget why we are doing it. So Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he explains. And he says, before describing these 5 things, he is basically telling the effect of what will happen to somebody who does these 5 things. He says, Dura Adbhuta. He said, if you do these 5 things, the result of doing these 5 things is Dura Adbhuta, is amazing. And he says, how much? Swalpam. Like in Bhagavad Gita we have, Swalpam apesya dharmasya. Even if you do little bit of devotional service, Trayate Mahato Bhaya. So Rupa Goswami is saying that even if you do little bit of it, you will get a little glimpse of what love for Krishna is. Do you want to know what the 5 things are?
Yes.
Is everybody awake? So Rupa Goswami is explaining, in Nectar of Devotion, the summary version of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Prabhupada translates it. There are 64 items of devotional service. And in that, the 5 most potent, number 1, Rupa Goswami is saying, Shri Murtaya Angri Sevana Prita. Shri Murti is nothing but Shri Krishna. Shri Murtaya Angri means the lotus feet. Sevane Priti. Serve the lotus feet of Shri Krishna in the form of deity. If you are all doing that, that's why I said. Everybody here is engaged in the service of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar. So that's number 1. Number 2, Shri Bhagavat Rasa Aswada. Now most of us are studying Srimad Bhagavatam here, I'm assuming. Now, study of Srimad Bhagavatam is not an academic study. You are not studying to understand the philosophy or to gain some information, or for that matter even get purified. According to Rupa Goswami, what is he saying? He is saying Shri Bhagavat Rasa Aswad, that we have to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to like a mango, ripe mango. Ripe mango, what do you do? When you have ripe mango in your hand, what do you do? No, I don't think so. We look at it, we analyze the color of the mango. We analyze the color of the mango, we analyze the shape of that mango, smell of the mango, and we see the mango from different direction, different perspective. How long is it? We measure the size of the mango. Right? What else? Any analytic brains here? Right? We see how old that mango is. You feel it? We have a lot of analytical brains here. No, we won't do that. We will just take the mango and devour it. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam is all about. Srimad Bhagavatam, according to Rupa Goswami, Shri Bhagavat Rasa Aswad. Aswad means taste it, relish it. So if you are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, if you have this perspective in Srimad Bhagavatam, then you will relish Srimad Bhagavatam. And through the process of relishment, we become purified. Nigrama kalpatoda galitam phalam Sukhamukha Amrita Dravya Sammatam Pivatam Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavaka. Pivata, just keep drinking. Srimad Bhagavatam has to be drunk. That's why in the beginning I said Srinvata Shraddhaya Nityam. If you just with faith, you hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is like drinking Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we hear the narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it's relishing. And you relish it, and through the relishment you become satisfied. That was number 2. Number 3, Rupa Goswami is saying, Shri Nam Sankirtan. I mean, this is not new for you, new for all of us, right? Every day we chant the holy name quietly in the form of japa, and then when we come together in the form of Sankirtan. So we chant the holy names of the Supreme Lord. The 4th, very, very, very important. What happened to Nam Sankirtan? Nam Sankirtan is also very important. But each of these 5 things will lead to ultimately Nam Sankirtan. So the 4th one, it is explained, Rupa Goswami is explained, Sajatiya Snigdha. Sajatiya means you associate with sadhus. You associate with devotees, and what is, he qualifies it, Sajatiya. Sajatiya means like-minded devotees. There are so many devotees here, right? One devotee could be in one extreme, another devotee could be one extreme. So we have to find a devotee, Sajatiya, whose wavelength, whose mindset matches ours. And you associate with that devotee and you discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. This is very, very important. Sadhu Sangha, there are different levels of Sadhu Sangha. Right? We have our superiors, on reference, we take the message from them. Right? And then we have juniors who have just come into Krishna consciousness, and then we have equals. 80% of our association should be with our equals. 10% with the superiors, 10% with the juniors. Because only an equal will tell you, hey, something's wrong with you. And it's very much to our ego, to our heart. Right? A superior will tell us for correction, for encouragement, and inspire us. Junior will not ever tell us, hey, something's wrong with you. But an equal will tell you. So, Sajatiya Snigdha. So, we have to associate with like-minded people of the same wavelength. And the last is, we have to take residence of holy place like Mathura, Dwarka, Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan. Now, if you cannot go there, then make your home into a holy place by setting up a small altar where you can worship Shri Radha and Krishna, Shri Gaurnitai. So these 5 things, Prabhu Goswami is saying, these 5 things, if you do it, we will see amazing results in our devotional life. And this is a gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami specifically was given this task to go and explain the Bhakti Shastras. He went and he did a research. He researched all the Vedas, all the scriptures, and he extracted the essence of Bhakti and presented it to the whole world. So for you and me, if our entire internal society of Krishna consciousness was set up on these 5 principles. If you see, we have temple, which is a holy place. We have Nam Sankirtan. We have Sadhu Sanghas. Every Sunday we gather, or any festivals we gather and we discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we have the deity worship. So everything encompasses these 5 things, provided we understand the purpose behind these 5 things. These 5 things were given by Rupa Goswami for us to achieve love for Krishna. That was given to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So on the appearance day of Lord Sri Chaitanya, this can be a meditation. That how we can attach ourselves to these 5 principles that Rupa Goswami has come to give us. Because by following these 5 principles, our love, which is dormant within our heart, can be awakened. And the process is very simple. Srinvata Shraddhaya Nityam. Just by giving oral reception to the message. Not for information, but for purification. And any living entity who does this, he can see the effect immediately. He can see the effect immediately. Right? Most of us who come to Krishna consciousness, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, he says, there are 4 kinds of people who approach me. Right? Chaturvidha bhajante mam, jana sukhvidhu arjuna, artho artharthi jigyasu, jnani cha bharatarshava. Now, the majority of people who come to Krishna consciousness is out of distress. When the distress goes away, they also go away. Till the time distress is there, they stay. Right? And we don't have to talk about distress. We all know. Right? We all have gone through distress. We have all gone through pains. But let us be very conscious that our coming into Krishna consciousness is not because of that distress. Although Krishna has brought us in the path of devotional service through the distress, but our exit should not be because the distress is gone. I make also an exit. No. Right? So there are certain principles of devotional service we have to understand. While I am executing devotional service for only one thing, not to exit out of this world. I am performing devotional service is to please and serve Shri Krishna. The Vedas, they talk about the 4 Purusharthas. Right? Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Every living entity is looking for pleasure. Is anybody here not looking for pleasure? We can see that in the animals also. When they wake up in the morning, the first thing is they're looking for food. They want some pleasure. Right? Every living entity is after pleasure. But we are looking for the right thing in the wrong place. So the whole process of Krishna consciousness is teaching us what we are looking for is the right thing, but it just tells us where to look for. And that information is available in the Shastras, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the association of devotees, in the temples where Krishna is worshipped with love and devotion. So if we keep this mindset, if we keep this understanding while we are executing devotional service, then although there will be obstacles, we understand our goal is to achieve love for Krishna. And that is possible when we are in a sangha of devotees like that. Like-minded devotees. Because everybody, I am assuming everybody is here aspiring for love of God. If there is something else, then there is a problem. We all have one desire to achieve love for Krishna. And the process is by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Right? And how do we develop attraction for that? Bhagavatam explains, Shushushu Shraddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Swayam Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevana. By serving great souls, we develop an affinity for hearing Krishna's message. So each one of us, whoever we are associating with, we have to think that this person is a great soul. Again, it's very difficult. I know this devotee in and out. So much fault, so many difficulties, so many issues he has. But Atmavan Manyate Jagat. What is in our heart, what is in our mind, that what gets projected outside. Right? So when we associate with each other, the association should be based on love. The association, if that devotee, because if you remember, in the wartime when the enemy is shooting at you, no matter how much difficulty you have with this partner of yours, but you know, with his help, you can win over the enemy. Isn't it? So similarly, when we are in a circle of devotees, we have to have each other's association to advance in Krishna consciousness. There is no way out. Because you have to understand, Krishna is a perfect tailor who has stitched that cloth that perfectly fits you. So Krishna has put you in the right association with the right devotee just for your purification. Because the moment you say, why Krishna has put this person in front of me in my life, you are immediately doubting Krishna's intelligence. You are telling Krishna, you don't have this substance. But no, Krishna has put this person just so that I become purified and just I become Krishna conscious. So please, you come to my life again and again. Very difficult, but please come. Please bother me. Please bother me. Please torture me. But I know, with your association only, I will make advancement in Krishna consciousness. If you have this mindset, if you have this mood, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bless us. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling us that this is the way we can advance in Krishna consciousness. So just look around, look to your left, look to your right, look to your front, back, you will see. Each and every individual is there to help you become Krishna conscious. And these festivities are an opportunity for us to make rapid advancement in the association of these devotees. So this should be the meditation, this should be the mood in which we should celebrate. Not just Gaur Purnima, but every festival. Right? There should not be just like a Gaur Purnima is over, now the next festival is Lord Ramchandra's appearance, and Narsimha Chaturdashi, then we have Janmashtami. We have festivals throughout the year. So much opportunity to become purified in the association of devotees. This is Srila Prabhupada's mercy on all of us, that he has given us this setup for us to become make rapid advancement in Krishna consciousness. And we can see the effect. The moment you see every individual who is in this room, right next to you, right, left, center, he is there to make you advance in Krishna consciousness. And this is realized knowledge, this is realized truth. Because you run away from this place, you run away from that devotee, Krishna will send you another person in a different form, in a different size, just to give you purification. In my experience, I have seen this again and again and again. Whatever little years I have spent in Krishna consciousness, there is no escape. Because Krishna knows what is good for us. Perfect doctor. Although medicine may taste bitter, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us the assurance. Just stick around. Don't jump the ship, thinking the ship is wobbly or, I have to see all these people every day, every Sunday, same faces. Sometimes these devotees are going to smile at me. They say, say Haribol to me. And I have to say Haribol, he doesn't respond back. But no, you don't have to say Haribol to me at all. I'll keep saying Haribol to you and keep smiling at you. Internally I may feel however I feel, but externally at least I'll show it. That is the means of advancement in Krishna consciousness. And that blessing is coming to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let this be the mood in which we associate, in which we celebrate any festival here and wherever we are. So that was my short message on the auspicious occasion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Is there any questions? I think I'm supposed to end at 6:30, I believe, right?
You mentioned it's going to be a reminder, you remember? Okay. You mentioned it's going to be to remind the devotees, wasn't it, when you mentioned trees?
Yeah, so, okay, Nirantar Prabhu he's my boss. He'll always say the right thing at the right time. You don't know I missed it. So the meditations, what was Lord Nrsimha's desire?
To experience the fatherly love.
Fatherly love. And how did he get that fulfilled?
Lord Ramchandra.
Lord Ramchandra. What was Lord Ramchandra's two desires?
To experience the friendship
and
to reciprocate to the sages.
Sages. And how did he fulfill that desire? As Krishna. And Krishna also had three desires. What was the three desires and how did he fulfill?
Experience the love of Radha.
Experience the love of Srimati Radharani. His own beauty. And third? What is this love that devotees are always engaged in? And how do you fulfill that? So what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire? Nobody asked me that question. Each incarnation is having a desire. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why is he left out?
To give love to Krishna.
He will give love of God.
Yeah, but what about the desire? क्या होगा? In the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the desires are fulfilled. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared, he fulfilled the desire of Lord Nrsimhadev that he had. He fulfilled the desire that he had in Lord Ramchandra. He fulfilled the desire that he had in Lord Shri Krishna. And his desire was to give love for everybody. Love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he freely distributed it in the form of Nama Sankirtan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the complete incarnation of the Absolute Truth. There is no other further desire left. The cycle will again continue. Satyuga will come now. So Kali Yuga will end in few years. Actually, few years, many years. Satyuga will come, and the cycle will continue. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, like Krishna appears once in the day of Lord Brahma. 1000 Divya Yugas, 1000 cycle of Satya, Dwapar, Treta, and Kali. He comes once. So we were lucky 500 years ago. We say it as in like Kal Hua, right? Which is 3 years. 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So he will come now again after 1000 Divya Yugas. So we are so fortunate that we are able to experience the incarnation of Sachidananda Gaur Hari. That was a comment. Any questions? Anybody has any clarification that I can help? Okay, we have 2 questions. Senior devotee, Ladar Prabhu.
You mentioned 5 practice, 5 principles. Are those you practice all 5 or just stick with the one and benefit out of it?
What do you think?
That's where I'm confused.
So, you can follow all 5 of them, or you can even follow one of them. Rupa Goswami says, just even following one of them will give you love of Godhead. But they are all interconnected. Because if you come in the association of devotees, what you will do? What's going on in Wall Street? What's happening in the news today? Right? Parasparanu Kathanam. We will discuss about Bhagavatam. And then what has happened? The devotee will say, I have to go now. Where are you going? I have to do deity worship. So deity worship is there. There is this beautiful place. This is a holy place, Mathuravas. So we are staying here. We are coming and serving here. So they are all interconnected. We are chanting together. So they are all connected. But Rupa Goswami says, if you do any one of them, you will achieve perfection in life. So you pick and choose, and you will see how they will connect you. They will drag you. One aspect of the devotional service come and drag you to the other. That's how it works. Does it help?
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. My question is slightly related to Prabhu's question. At the beginning, you mentioned that if one remembers Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, difficult things become easy. And I was also trying to connect the 5 processes that you mentioned. If all the 5 processes are meant to towards that objective of remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I think I might have understood the answer from your question, your answer to this. If you could clarify if there is any additional.
So, when we say remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now you can just sit in one place and just think and say, I am remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So our Acharya is explaining, remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead basically means that we have to engage in service, because there is no absorption like getting absorbed in service. Because when you know that I am doing this service for somebody, now you are sitting here and listening to this Harikatha, but you may say, I am doing this for myself. So there is some amount of absorption. So when there is absorption, then remembrance becomes easy. That's why Prabhu always say, like, people who are just sitting and meditating, right? Their meditating is incomplete. Because when we say meditating, like in the Bhagavatam, actually in Vedanta Sutra, the first verse, right? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. When we say Jigyasa, inquiry, as soon as there is inquiry upon the absolute truth, what happens? We are inquiring upon, once we know the absolute truth is Sri Krishna, then what do you do with that? You don't move on. You continue to do service. So that service, when we engage in service, that service creates absorption. So we can remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So indirectly, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is indicating that when we are remembering, when he's saying that by remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, difficult things becomes easy. And I'll share something with you. A practical experience that I had about this verse. Can I do have a few minutes?
Yes.
And sometimes, as devotees, knowledge is one thing, that we have knowledge. But real knowledge is experience. We have to experience that knowledge. So there are so many statements in the scriptures. You do this, you'll get this, you do this, you'll get that. So one time, I had just heard this verse. This was many, many years ago. I had just came across this verse. And this verse, I was just meditating on this verse. I said, how is that if I remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, difficult things will become, easy. And I thought maybe if I get a chance, I'll maybe put this verse to test. So one day, I have a dressing service at our temple, Shri Kishore, every Sunday. And one day, there was some engagement that I had to go through, and then I was running late. So I came to the temple. And I just parked my car. I had my clothes in the car. And then I got out of the car, and my car got locked. I was locked out of the car. And I had exactly 6 minutes to go on the altar. And within the Pancharatrik Vidhi, the timing is very, very important. We wake up the deities on time, we put the deities rest on time, our Aarti is on dot on time. And I was so much in anxiety because my clothes were inside. I had 6 minutes. And in that state, I just remembered this verse. It just came. Katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukharam bhavet vismrite viparyasyat Shri Chaitanya namamitam. And right at that moment, there was a AAA lock service was just passing by. And again, I'm telling you, this actually happened. The AAA lockman service just passing by. And I just looked at it and I just said, hey, can you stop? Can you unlock my car? And as if like he was super enthusiastic, he just got out of the car, he didn't ask me for my AAA card or whatever, and he just did something and the car was unlocked, and then boom, he was gone, and I was on the altar and I didn't know what happened. I finished my dressing service, and then afterwards I said, oh my God, what happened today? This verse,
miracles.
I mean, you could call it miracle, but for me, it was the realization of Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami's statement. That difficult things becomes easy. Now again, please do not try this. Tomorrow, maybe today. Okay, we heard this, now let me see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in action. Please don't test like this. Right? In my case, it was because again I was supposed to serve the Supreme Lord, so Krishna facilitated it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that when there is absorption in service, then the Supreme Lord will reciprocate for you to make sure that you are able to finish that service. And we have unlimited examples. So remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means remembering to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates. Then the remembrance becomes very easy. Okay, I think I'll stop here, otherwise we'll go on. There are other engagements that are there this evening. Thank you so much. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Devande.
Hare Krishna, thank you so very much, Balaram Prabhu, for that wonderful class. I wouldn't even say I cannot just say wonderful class and walk away from there. because it's very, very practical as always and very inspiring as always. The basic fundamental principles of devotional service we always tend to forget, and it is so inspiring to hear from devotees like Balaram Prabhu to remind us the basic aspects. And I just wanted to share one more thing. Prabhu was talking about the 5 important aspects. Deity worship, devotee service to the devotees, chanting of the holy name, residing in holy place, and hearing Bhagavatam. So 2 things came to my mind as I was hearing the class, that many times I have seen that we give services for someone and they may be nicely doing that, and all of a sudden they get inspired not to do the service because it just is like, what is the minimum, something else that I can do, and then you walk away from the wonderful service opportunity that one has in one's hand and don't even realize this is a missed opportunity, and this happens to many. I have seen that happening again and again. The second thing which came to my mind is we are, with all our heart and soul, we are trying to facilitate opportunity for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and we have done everything humanly possible to communicate this to our congregation, and I'm standing in front of you, begging you with folded hands, kindly please come and attend morning Bhagavatam class during Saturday and Sunday. Today was quite a number of people showed up. I wanted to thank everybody. Otherwise, it is the same old 5 people here. But any time, if you came here even one time, I would say that you will be very, very inspired, because every devotee who is speaking, they are speaking from their position of realization, and you develop such great appreciation for each other. You develop so much appreciation for Srimad Bhagavatam hearing from these devotees. And so, in fact, one of our devotees said that we should stop live streaming and we should not be publishing our videos at all, because we want you to personally be here. Because being here means then you experience it firsthand, and that's what we want. So today is the first time I am ever announcing this in the Sunday feast, and again begging you to please make it a point to come Saturday and Sunday. We even sent an email in the last time in the, what is that thing called, workplace, right? Workplace, that if husband and wife find it very difficult to come here together, Saturday husband can come and Sunday the wife can come. So if you are thinking about your little children at home. But then there are many devotees in this community who don't have any little children at home. So I don't know what to say to them. But I'm inviting you from the bottom of my heart. Please come and experience hearing Srimad Bhagavatam here. So it is 7 o'clock. And there was a discussion whether we should move it up. No, we are not going to move it up because we want to move it down. We want people to be here 6 o'clock chanting japa together. So 7 o'clock, that's where it is right now. So please come. Thank you very much. You will all be enjoying that. You will have a wonderful time if you come. Thank you so much, Balaram Prabhu, and we really look forward to hearing from you again and again. And please come. We need your association so much. Service opportunities are coming again more. For Gauri Purnima, I'm not speaking about that. There is Sumangala standing there waiting for that. Today's Sunday feast is sponsored by 2 families. Dev Iyer Prabhu, seeking blessings for his son Adit and daughter Tanya. Is Dev Adit Prabhu's family is here? So they have regularly, they sponsor Sunday feast. And Tripti Singh and family are seeking Krishna and devotees blessings for her son Tanush. Is Tripti is here? Is it somebody's birthday?
My older son, Tanush.
Older son's birthday. Okay, here, thank you so very much, Tripti. And yes, of course, if you want to pray for their spiritual well-being, kindly chant after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. And for upcoming weeks, Sunday Feast sponsorship, you can contact Abhay Prabhu. Where is he? Abhay? Not here. Korshyam, he is sitting there. And Gaurav Purnima is on 28th, which is Wednesday. But we are celebrating on Sunday, and I am going to pass this mic on to Sumangala.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Balaram Prabhuji. It's a really wonderful class, and by this time I think everybody is in Mayapur, isn't it? Okay. Be there, don't come back, okay? Yeah, but it's a wonderful, wonderful event in Mayapur, celebrating Gaurav Purnima Day. Just imagine being there. But can we all go there? With bodies, minds, yes, we can. I think you are already there in Mayapur. But with bodies, we cannot go there. So, we cannot do everything that Mayapur, like, how it happens. But we would like to do one special celebration, one great event is that we do Abhishekam, with Panchamrita and flowers Abhishekam. So that's happening on next Sunday. The festival starts at 4 o'clock and ends at 7:15 p.m. This is a new schedule. Please check your schedule. It's posted multiple places. It's not like Sunday feast every 6:30. It does not end. It ends at 7:15. So be prepared for that time. And we will be having two important, as I said, Abhishekam with the Panchamrita and everything. The priest will be doing, and we all can, observe that Abhishekam. And also after the Abhishekam, we are going to do flower Abhishek. You all can participate. You can offer the flower petals to the deities. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Imagine you are participating, bathing the gods, with the deities. It's really an opportunity. And we do this fundraising only twice in a year. One is at Janmashtami time. We raise the funds for the temple maintenance. And this is the next time, only twice in a year. The other festival is the Gaurav Purnima. So we are doing this festival, and we are requesting the donation, small donation, $108. If anybody is inspired, after hearing the class, definitely I think you will be inspired. Please see me or Shyam Prabhu there. You can mention your sponsorship details. And the schedule is published. Please take a look at the schedule. And there are other sponsorships also. You could sponsor the flowers for the beautiful decorations. And also the other sponsorship is feeding all the devotees with the wonderful prasadam. Any of them you can contact Prabhuji. And it's only once in not a big amounts that we are doing, but all these funds go for the maintenance. So I would highly request everybody take this service opportunity. So thank you so much.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add. So generally, the weather is not cooperative at this time, but this is one of the occasions, one of the years. In recent years, I see the weather is really, really good. So I think let's take advantage of it. Let's do real good festival. Like earlier we used to, with all the restrictions, parking, and winter, we were just trying to be very small. But this year we want to do good, look bigger. So, but we don't have time. But here's a good thing. Generally, if you observe the same day, we do fast and then we are tired. So at least this festival we can eat and at the same time we can celebrate. So it's on Sunday. So please share the event. Please share the Facebook. Please let the people know. Invite everyone. I'm going to invite all my committee members, and I will ask them their friends and their families come. So you, neighbors, friends, whoever. This is the wonderful, like what Prabhuji said, that the message what we got today, don't keep it just ourselves, bring to people, and maybe they'll get realization that way. So once in an opportunity for a year, once we do, so please participate, let's enjoy, and maybe we can do a little bit of holy that way, whatever that. Right? It's a nice weather, we'll do something, see what we can do. Right?
Don't bring your color packets.
Yeah, don't bring it, but we'll do
Maybe
it.
without thought. What kind of
We will arrange it here. So let's do it. Let's do it nice. Other ideas are welcome. We still have time. Let's participate. And last but not the least, see, there's so much of hard work. You all know. And if we don't participate, that's not appreciation of hard work. So please, let's
One question that comes up in people's minds is what are the service opportunities? You could tell a little bit about that. How can they be served?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there are many. Right?
Services, full of services. We are making a very special feast. Rohini and Prabhu's team is cooking. If anybody is interested, they can come and you can come for half an hour, 1 hour, any time, cut the vegetables or anything. And we have a lot of decorations going on. Mahati Kirti Mataji is leading that effort. If you have anybody is interested in flowers, they could participate in that service also. And cleaning the table, there are a lot of cleaning services. Everybody can participate. Whoever, you can contact me. I can redirect. We have plenty of services. Thank you so much. Please serve downstairs. Hare Krishna.